guessing that most of us in this room today are well aware that Oregon has an ocean in its backyard, and that we as Oregonians are the stewards of these waters. However, there are plenty of Oregonians who aren't as attuned to the fact that the ocean is a part of our state. And so we have a real opportunity here to be using marine reserves as vehicles for raising awareness and bringing to people's attention that Oregon doesn't stop at the beach. By showcasing what's under the water in these marine reserve sites and showcasing the research that's being done, we're going to be able to help raise awareness about Oregon's nearshore ocean environment as well as ocean science. I work for the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and it's the Marine Reserves Program. Our agency is tasked with the management and scientific monitoring of Oregon's marine reserves. We are based out of Newport, Oregon on the Central Oregon coast. We share management responsibilities for the marine reserves with Oregon State Parks, the Department of State Lands, and the Oregon State Police's Fish and Wildlife Division. And then we are very fortunate to be working with a whole group of partners. These are folks who are going well above and beyond the work that ODFW is capable of doing. So they're providing additional information to the public about Oregon's marine reserves. They're creating opportunities or connecting people to opportunities to get involved. And in a lot of instances, they're collaborating with us on scientific research. That's both ecological research as well as studying the human dimensions of the marine reserves. To start our marine reserves tour, I wanted to start at the 30,000 foot level. So these are the 5 sites up and down the Oregon coast. So the marine reserve prohibits all take of animals and seaweeds and also prohibits all ocean development. Now, next to the marine reserves are marine protected areas, also known as MPAs. So the MPAs still prohibit ocean development, but they do allow some fishing activities. And which fishing activities are or aren't allowed is very specific to each MPA. The designation of these 5 sites was over 10 years in the making and involved a very extensive public process. And that process included communities, local coastal communities, working with state officials to place these sites in areas that would provide ecological benefits while also minimizing, or at least trying to minimize, negative impacts to ocean users and coastal communities. Oregon created marine reserves in order to conserve marine habitats and biodiversity. That's the intended goal of these 5 sites. They also serve as living laboratories where we're learning about Oregon's nearshore ocean environment and also learning about marine reserve protections, that is, no fishing and conservation, what effects those have on the nearshore ocean environment here in Oregon over time. As Lisa mentioned, this is a long-term monitoring study. We're not going to be seeing ecological effects anytime soon, most likely. And Brittany will be speaking a lot about the research that's going on at these reserves in our living laboratories. So here's just some sneak peeks at our living laboratories and researchers actually doing some research. Now, each of Oregon's marine reserve sites is unique. They're different sizes, they're different shapes, they have different habitats and biological characteristics. They experience different types and levels of fishing prior to their closure. And the towns and communities that are most closely tied to each of these sites have very different demographics. So this means we're very likely going to see different conservation outcomes and different effects to people and communities at each of these sites. Now, how many of you have been to at least one of Oregon's marine reserve sites? How many of you have actually been in, as in underwater, and seen what's in the reserve sites? Let's look around the room. I see not that many hands, right? There's a few. This is a challenge. When we go to visit these sites, most of us, What we're seeing is what's on land either next to the reserve or maybe something that's at the surface or above the water at the reserve. But we're not actually seeing what's in the reserve and what's being protected, because that's underwater. So part of what our program is really interested in, and a lot of our partners are also interested in, is showing people what is in these reserves, what is actually being protected. So the Marine Reserve at Cape Falcon is 12.4 square miles, and there are 2 marine protected areas. There's this West Marine Protected Area, and then there's this Shoreside Marine Protected Area. And those encompass another 7.6 square miles. Cascade Head Marine Reserve. The Marine Reserve is 9.6 square miles, and the site includes 3 marine protected areas, which encompasses another 23.1 square miles. So here we are, the Otter Rock Marine Reserve. There's this amazing rocky intertidal area on the north portion of the site. It actually extends all the way up to Cape Bellwether, this nice rocky intertidal area. This is Oregon's smallest marine reserve. It is 1.2 square miles, and there are no marine protected areas next to this particular reserve. Here we are at Cape Perpetua. The Marine Reserve is 14.1 square miles. It's the largest marine reserve. It has 3 marine protected areas, which encompass another 41 square miles. The rocky shores within the Marine Reserve have some of the most biologically diverse rocky intertidal areas in the entire Pacific Northwest. So these are biological hotspots. So this is a really unique feature of this site. This is a unique deeper water rocky reef, and it's very isolated. There is no rock habitat. There is no other rocky reefs anywhere near here. So this makes this very unique, and it makes this particular reef actually very high in diversity. Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife has been studying this reef for quite a while, along with Oregon State University, because this area also tends to experience hypoxia episodes, so that's low oxygen events, which is again a very unique feature of this site. Redfish Rocks Reef. This reef is great habitat for a large variety of groundfish species, including many rockfish species like China rockfish, vermilion rockfish, and black rockfish. Other groundfish species such as lingcod, cabezon, kelp greenling, red Irish lords, wolf eels. You also will find many forms of invertebrates in this area, including sea urchins, nudibranchs, and crabs.